Sometimes, as qualitative researchers, we need to remind ourselves of what qualitative research actually is. And that's what I'm doing in this video. If we've not met before, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Yardley, and I've spent the last 20 years working as an academic in UK universities, supporting postgrad and PhD students with their dissertations. Now, qualitative research is my jam. It's the kind of research that I've done for most of my academic career, and it's the kind of research that most of the people I supervise in their PhDs and in their masters and their undergraduates do as well. So I'm very much a qualitative person. Some might call me fluffy. In recent years, I've noticed quite a lot of questions cropping up around qualitative research, which suggests there's a little bit of confusion around it. So let's clear that up. Let's get into it. Firstly, let's talk about the value of subjectivity. Qualitative research acknowledges the subjective nature of human experiences. Now, before we go any further, let's unpick what we actually mean by that word subjectivity. Imagine you have a pair of glasses, and that pair of glasses has a specific tint. Let's say it's slightly blue. When you look at the world through these glasses, everything appears with a subtle blue hue. Now think of these glasses as your personal perspectives, your personal experiences, your personal beliefs. In the same way, subjectivity in research means that the researcher and the participants all bring their own tinted glasses along to a study. These glasses represent their unique views, their values, their attitudes, and their beliefs. So when they look at a topic or a piece of data, it's influenced by those things. It's a subjective process. In qualitative research, wearing these sets of tinted glasses is not something that's seen as a problem. It's something that's expected, and it's something that's embraced. Qualitative inquiry expects people to see and interpret things a little bit differently. And it's believed that these differences add richness and depth to research. So in terms of subjectivity and qualitative research, it's like acknowledging that everybody brings their own set of tinted glasses to the research process, and that is perfectly okay. Qualitative researchers adopt the position that nobody can really be neutral or value-free when it comes to research, and they accept that that's perfectly fine. It's not a problem. Subjectivity is embraced as an integral part of the research process. And given all this, qualitative research allows for multiple interpretations of data. The richness of qualitative data means that different researchers might derive different insights and different conclusions from a similar set of data. Quantitative research, on the other hand, generally doesn't think that subjectivity has value. Quantitative researchers believe that research can be free of and unaffected by things like personal experiences and biases and opinions. They believe that as a researcher, you can effectively take your tinted glasses off and you can see the research environment in quite an objective and neutral and detached way. You can essentially just be an observer. Next up, we need to tackle the topic of validity. Qualitative researchers see validity as being linked to trustworthiness. It's to do with getting to the truth of participants' perspectives and experiences in a genuine and authentic way. It's about ensuring that the study is a faithful representation of the participants' truths. Qualitative researchers establish validity through concepts like credibility. Credibility involves demonstrating that a study's findings are authentic and accurate, that they're not a misrepresentation. For qualitative researchers, validity is about trustworthiness and authenticity. In quantitative research, on the other hand, validity is often about the accuracy of measurement and whether the tools that are being used are measuring what they intended to measure. Lastly, we need to take a look at the topic of reliability. Qualitative researchers see reliability as dependability. This comes from having a robust and transparent research design. It's essentially about showing your workings. Here are the steps I took. Here's how I arrived at this conclusion. Someone reading your study should be able to see how you've done it. Not because they want to repeat it and test it, but so they can understand how you did it. Qualitative researchers don't spend a lot of time worrying about things like replicability, whether someone else would get the same results, because that isn't one of the criteria that they think are important for research. They argue that every study is time-bound and context-bound. The study that you do can never really be replicated. It happens in a particular place, at a particular time, and it's done by a particular researcher, you. And that temporal and spatial and personal context is really important. Qualitative researchers don't think the social world is some kind of laboratory. You can't replicate exactly the same conditions, and nor should you try to as a qualitative researcher. People don't behave like matter, like liquids, solids, or gases. The human experience is rich and diverse and messy and complicated. It's not about replicability, about getting the same results from the same methods. Rather, it's about the study being dependable and consistent within its own design. We can see how you did it. There isn't a load of mystery around it. It's clear, it's transparent. Whereas in quantitative research, reliability is about replicability. So for quantitative researchers, this is about somebody else coming along and doing the same study that you did and getting very similar or the same results. Because they believe in objectivity, they believe in the researcher's capacity to essentially detach themselves, to leave their experiences and their feelings and their biases at the door. In quantitative research, the researcher is essentially another research tool. They're kind of interchangeable. And going back to what we covered at the beginning, qualitative researchers don't believe that this is possible or even desirable. Subjectivity is key. Subjectivity is really valuable for them. We should embrace the fact that we're different as researchers and we'll come up with different things depending on the different set of tinted glasses through which we see the world. So to recap, in this video we've covered 3 key issues around qualitative research. Firstly, we've covered subjectivity as something that has value and as something that we should try and embrace rather than trying to remove. We talked about validity, which for qualitative researchers is about trustworthiness and authenticity rather than accuracy of measurement. And lastly, we've talked about reliability, which is much more about a robust research design and transparency for qualitative research than it is about replicability. I hope you found that helpful. Be sure to tune in for my next video where I'll be sharing more tips and advice about all things PhD. I'll see you then.